All right, real quick video. We're gonna go over the magnificent Menhaden, and this is a wood bait, 6-inch. The Menhaden's the most prevalent bait fish on the East Coast, from actually all the way through Texas on the Gulf and all the way up to Maine. This one has one of those dressed hooks I just put on, so it represents a nice tail as it's jamming through the water, and it's got an owner front hook on it, live oak fins, and then pear wood for a lip, and then facets. So these facets give off sound signature. Years ago when I was in the Navy, I was a quality assurance inspector, and I did that underwater, so I got to look at a lot of propellers. One thing, if a propeller gets a ding or a nick in it, it'll give off a sound signature called cavitation. So years later, I decided that on my lures I was going to make lots of cavitation dings. So that would be a very unhealthy warship propeller. However, for baits, it gives off a really good sound signature. Wood baits also, because of the uniqueness of the grain, every wood has its own grain features, and you can see between the two of these different grain patterns, they give off sound signatures. So this magnificent Menhaden's really faceted on the top, and it has pear wood for the lip on the front, live oak, which is spalted on the back, and a beautiful dressed hook. And I'll show you how she swims in the water next. All right, thank you. See you soon. We're gonna do an op test of the magnificent Menhaden, and I swim every bait in the pool and tune them and make sure they're running true and correct and diving the right way. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you a close-up of the action of this lure and how it functions, and we'll show you some tuning techniques, how you can make it really individual to how you want to fish it. And it floats as it surfaces, so if you're bumping an oyster bar, or it'll come right back up. If you're paddling your kayak, then stop paddling and your lure's going to come up and you won't foul it. All right, so I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit closer, and we're going to show you how to tune a lure really quick. So if you look at this eye right here, it's got a bend. When I first build them, they're nice and straight, and I'll put them in the pool, swim them, and if they don't behave correctly, then I'll take a pair of pliers and I'll slowly start tweaking that, swim it back and forth until I get it to where it's consistent. And any kind of homemade wood lure like that, you got to tune them because they're different densities, thicknesses. Every lure is unique and different. So we're going to do a little bit of a drastic bend here to show you. So that one's pretty drastic. I wouldn't probably fish it too often like that, but if you wanted to represent a pinfish, say, that was rolling on the bottom and flashing like they do in the grass, or if it's a struggling bait where it's been hit by, say, a pod of dolphins, annihilates a whole school of bait fish, and a few of those ones that are still trying to hang on, they'll be flashing and struggling in the water. So you'll see close up a little bit of difference in how the lure performs as you bend that eye. You see it starts flashing. We're going to come back the other way, give you a little bit of a representation here. And if you give it some pops, you can really get it to roll on its side and flash. We'll go one more time. See how that wanted to just go up on its side? If you bend it too far to the right or left, you're gonna get what's called a barrel roll. But this one's doing about 45 degrees as you pull it along. All right, look forward to seeing you on the next video. So for pool testing, I keep a swivel on there just to switch lures, because usually I'm testing 20 of them. But if you look, you'll see that eye's not straight, so it's actually bent. So if you take a pair of pliers, you can make a bait do some really cool stuff. So I'm just going to tweak it a little bit. That looks pretty drastic, but now I'm going to pan in down on the water and show you what that difference is. See how it's laying on its side more? Here, we'll do it one more time. Ready? So it'll lay more to the right or left depending on how you dial it over. If you dial it too far over, it's going to barrel roll. But the nice thing about these is if you want it to be like a pinfish, when the pinfish is in the grass and it's doing this, and you just slow reel and you kind of do that, let it float a little, and then do that again, you're going to represent either a grazing fish or you're going to represent a wounded fish. And it's all about retrieve. So we'll go extremely drastic on this. So you can see that's almost a 45-degree angle. So we're gonna go ahead and see how it's really on its side there. It's almost wanting to barrel roll, so you can kind of tweak it. Here, we'll do it one more time. Here we go. See how it's almost sideways, but that, if you go slow and you're popping it like that, you can see the action kind of wants to tip on its side. Gives a real nice flash when it catches the sun. But anyway, you can tune your lures. They come tuned so they run really straight forward, and they don't have any deviation. They got that center wobble. All right, thanks for your time.